And I really want to talk to you about the importance of being absolutely clear that where you are not being valued, it's not worth staying. It's not going to work out. That's the problem. It's not that it's no longer worth it. I have to understand one thing. There are times when we see so much potential in someone, that we value someone so much, that we get so caught up in the idea of how incredible it would be. That with that person, right? That it reaches a point where we don't care if the other person is valuing us, right? Because we think it's so worth it, or we believe it's so worth it, that we truly cling to the space this person is willing to offer us. Because we genuinely perceive any interaction with this person, any space in their life as a privilege. Sometimes it happens. And sometimes it happens with people you know who haven't done anything to earn it. But they have something, usually that something goes beyond, right? They probably hope, connect with certain childhood wounds, feel familiar to you, or there's something they have to convey to you that makes you perceive it as, wow, what a spark, right? And involuntarily, indeed, this person suddenly becomes the person. It awakens something in you that obviously not just anyone can. But the problem is that no matter how much potential you see, if that person doesn't see it in you, this won't work. This is not going to end well, and we don't want to see it. And we cover up the sun with a finger and justify all those things that person doesn't do. All those things that are actually obvious, right? Because in these kinds of situations, we will notice that this is not balanced. You will notice that on your part, the interest, the concern, the desire, the motivation, the excitement are quite different from the other person's side. Sometimes, if you're lucky, it will happen with someone who doesn't pay you any attention at all, because this is much easier to manage, right? In the end, if they don't reciprocate, there's no other choice. But if you're unlucky, you might come across someone who also sees qualities in you and obviously likes receiving your attention. And of course, in such a case, it's usually not that the person has played some kind of game or trick to make you chase them. As I say, this usually arises very organically. But the moment you see potential, there you will be, with hard work and effort, relentlessly. And of course, if that person allows you to be there and gives you even the slightest bit, as I say, the very least, you will give it an emotional weight it doesn't have. You will justify everything that's missing, everything that's absent in this connection, and you will trust that all you're putting in will be enough. Since you're already putting in so much, maybe your part alone is enough for something to truly come out of this, but it won't happen. Really, and I hate to be so blunt, it won't happen. If you don't motivate that person, if that person doesn't value you, if that person doesn't see the potential, no matter how much you give of yourself, this is not going to happen. Because in the end, what you're seeing is a mirage. What you're seeing and believe you need to make the person see, they don't see it because it's only on your side. Because it's you who, as I say, sees that person as so incredible. But it's if that person doesn't see you as incredible in return. In the end, we believe, no, with time, with effort, with patience, I'm going to do this, I'm going to try that. Sometimes we even make different attempts, right? If this time it didn't work out well for me, if I try from another angle, and I tell you that it's a huge waste of time, a huge frustration, which in the end costs us a lot of self-esteem. It costs us because in the end, the longer you stay in the situation, obviously, the longer it takes to forget the person. And besides, these types of people, as in the end, they don't open up, right? They don't show vulnerability, nor do they let themselves be known because they are not getting involved like you are. You idealize them a lot. And then once you distance yourself for a while, you compare the people you meet and think, oh my, they're not like this person. No, it's that you haven't really gotten to know this person because that person hasn't given you the real opportunity to show themselves fully. Because for us to truly know a person, that person has to be willing to open up. What does opening up imply? Opening up implies that you no longer see only the good. Opening up implies that you realize I am a flesh and blood individual, that I have my good things and my bad things. But when I close myself off, I don't fully let myself be known, and I simply allow you a degree of superficiality in which you will imagine me as you would like me to be. And of course, you won't feel like imagining negative things. You won't feel like imagining things that clash. And to top it off, when analyzing everything that person doesn't give you, instead of being disappointed at the idea of saying, oof, obviously this connection, it shouldn't be because this person is not making me feel good. This person is awakening insecurities in me. This person is making me feel very frustrated, disappointed, disillusioned many times, right? I should expect from a person with a lot of potential to contribute to me, to make me feel very good. But instead of justifying this and realizing that this person is not up to what you need, and thus helping you to be disappointed with their behavior towards you, no. What you normally do is blame yourself for not being good enough for this person to want to give what one would expect from someone who is getting involved. There is a moment of truth where I think we have to put aside the distractions and ask ourselves, what do I really want in my life? Because sometimes we see all this as very comical, and in practice it is not very funny, right? Oh, I keep linking stories that don't work for me. Love is garbage, ha 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 ha. I'm going to die alone, ha ha ha. I don't find it funny, to be honest. There comes a moment when I have to ask myself, what do I want? Do I want something platonic? Do I want to chase after someone? Do I want, I don't know. Or do I want to have someone in my life in a meaningful way? Do I want a meaningful relationship? Well, if what you want is to find someone meaningful who contributes to your life, with whom you feel good, when you meet someone, you have to focus on the right things. That is far above how much this person makes me feel, in the sense of how much they awaken in me, how much they attract me, the desire I might have for them, whatever it is. The question for something to work is not how much you like the person. You might like the person from here to the moon, but if they don't like you back, you won't even make it around the corner. But truly understand this reality that is very harsh and very true. Then it's not the one we use in love to decide. For example, we are getting to know different people, just to give an example. No, the one I like the most is so-and-so, but if so-and-so is the one who pays you the least attention, so-and-so is the one who does well. I like people who are difficult. Well, you're going about it the wrong way, truly. We need to pay attention to how the other person makes me feel and start valuing this. When a person comes into your life who gets excited about you, who dedicates mental time to think about what they can do to contribute to you, and you notice that they care about you, right? You tell them something and that person later references it. And if they notice that one day you're different, they ask what's wrong and genuinely care, not just superficially. That person who perhaps in small details shows you that they keep you in mind, that they are excited, that they care. Let me tell you that this, which is so valued today, are the minimum ingredients for a relationship to work well. Because what comes as attraction, passion, desire, what I imagine, I'm anxious, but then I get a message and boom. What good is it to you? What do you really have? Where do you think you're going with that? You're not going anywhere. It's not going to lead you anywhere. It's of no use to you. I've told you many times. Love, when we get emotionally involved with someone, that bond affects us. And it doesn't go unnoticed. So, when I get emotionally involved with someone, this bond either adds to me, which will make me more excited and happier in my daily life. Why? Because that person is behaving with me in a way that is giving me that. I'm feeling in return the affection, the dedication, the desire, and noticing that something is shared is what makes you feel so good and lifts you up and excites you. However, if you don't make me feel that way, if you're in a relationship with someone, what happens is that every day you end up overthinking more, becoming more anxious, more stressed. What's happening? Well, evidently what's happening is that this person doesn't value me. When a person acts as if you don't matter to them, the most likely reason is because you don't matter to them. As harsh as it may be, that's the way it is. And we want to find 100,000 other justifications, right? Like, well, maybe they act that way, I don't know. Because they don't want to show themselves. Because they are a more reserved person. Maybe they are taking it slow. Maybe they like me, but they don't show it. 100,000 justifications. When someone makes it clear that we don't matter to them, it's because we don't matter to them. So what interests me when someone doesn't value me and when I don't matter to someone is, as soon as possible, to leave from there. I shouldn't stay where I'm not being valued. And leaving from where I don't want to leave hurts. But staying where I shouldn't stay hurts more. And in the long run, it hurts much more over time. Many times, even if it hurts us, that image we have of the person, like that independent guy, emotionally focused on his own things, is because he is very centered on his own matters, right? Isn't it like that mysterious girl who plays hard to get, who makes it difficult for you, right? And we perceive this as very attractive. It's not that the person is like that. It's simply that you're getting to know someone who doesn't have the necessary interest in you, so this comes naturally to them. But that same person might meet someone who motivates them and probably goes after them like anyone else. And they act arrogant, insistent, maybe not so interesting also, laughing at jokes like a fool. We often have this perception of course, I compare someone with this person who is chasing after me, and that one seems more attractive. Do you really not realize that what you find attractive is that they are not available to you? And where are we going to go if we always obsess over what is not available? Well, nowhere. We end up alone. We end up alone, frustrated, not knowing what's happening, cursing love, thinking there's no one decent out there, instead of also examining a bit more closely the criteria we follow. When it comes to getting involved, if there's no water in the pool, I don't dive in. If I'm swimming in the pool and they take the water away, I get out of the pool. There's no other way. There's no other way, really. And as I said, we are very reluctant to want to accept it. And we justify. It's just that I feel it's not about whether you feel or not. Is the person valuing you? Are they valuing what you give them? Are they valuing the concept you have of them? Because what would it be like for them to value you? Well, that they reciprocate, that they care about not losing you, that they want you to be part of their life, that they give you your place, that they also want to make you happy. Hey, because when we feel something for someone, we want to make that person happy because it makes us happy to see them happy. That's the beauty of love. To seek the good of the other. Caring about the well-being of the other is what's beautiful. If that person who awakens so much in you is not concerned about your well-being, doesn't care how you might feel when they don't contact you, doesn't care how their words might affect you. When someone is not concerned about your emotional well-being, when someone is not careful not to hurt you, but rather is blunt and says, "Oh, I say it, and if what I say bothers them, so be it." That is not the right place. No matter how much that person awakens in you, you shouldn't stay there because you won't get anywhere. You can be as stubborn as you want, you can compete with yourself as much as you want, and you will end up exhausted because in the end, you are competing with yourself. And love is much more arbitrary than we would like. That is to say, if that person doesn't see the potential, it doesn't matter. If you become an astronaut and go to the moon, if for some reason they see the potential in someone else, that person, without making the slightest effort, will attract that attention. Moreover, the more we force things, the less they flow in the end. Because we create energetic resistances, the person tends to leave because they feel pursued. That is to say, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So, if today this person doesn't value you, doesn't make you feel good about yourself, what you have given doesn't result in that person wanting the same as you. I'm very sorry, but what you have to do is be objective. Be realistic and say, I'm not wasting any more time here. So it will hurt me, but it won't hurt me forever. I'm going to withdraw, and from now on, I'm going to focus on what I need to see in the other person. Before getting involved so that there are options, it will turn out as it has to. But at least there are options for this to have a future and for the other person to make me feel good about myself. Which, as I say, is the minimum to move forward. Well, yes. I'm not going to say I hope you like this video because I suspect it's not liked. It's not liked, hearing truths like this isn't liked, but they feel really good. Sometimes it's very necessary. Because the people who love you sometimes tell you, but they say it gently. They don't want to hurt you. And it's true that sometimes it takes someone from outside to come and lay it on you, right? It's tough, but when it comes to making those mental clicks that are really beneficial, sometimes you have to make that click because no one else is going to do it for you. Because in the end, it's your life and your time that you either make the most of or waste, right? It's you who decides if you're there wasting time or if you're looking for something better, right? So, well, you have to make that click, whether we like it or not, and I hope that I've managed to do it. Anyway, if you're not subscribed and you feel like it, I invite you to do so. Hit the bell so we can see each other again very soon. And until then, as always, I send you a big kiss.